as a community.
And I do want to emphasize here to Gift's point, like the community does exist, right? I had just dropped the link for both the Stellar Dev Discord as well as a link to Startup Camp, by the way, guys. So one thing I do want to emphasize is the community exists to really help each other out. So if you have any questions, our entire DevRel team, our entire core engineering team, all utilizes Discord on a daily basis. So they may not be able to do workshops, but they can definitely, if you have any questions or things like that, they're there to answer them pretty on the spot. So if you have any like issues that you're running into, or you want to brainstorm some ideas, throw it in the dev Discord, and oftentimes you will get a response from the community. So please leverage that resource there, because it exists. It's basically a million DevRel people who are already building on Stellar that are available there.
Yeah.
Also, I would love to ask as well. I think I have 2 more questions. One of the questions is that are there any other? I know one of the opportunities in Stellar is the grants opportunities, but are there any other opportunities available in Stellar? Probably for people that does not have knowledge on development aspects.
So Anuham, I'll let you answer that question because I think what's publicly made available on opportunities are the SCF, the SCF grant award application. But I do know that there's a matching fund. I'm not sure if that would fit into, the other opportunity that she's asking about. So
the matching fund is actually for companies that have already gotten venture funding. Oh,
right.
Can you hear me? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's for companies that have already gotten venture funding. So if you have said companies, my recommendation would be to actually apply to the Stellar Community Fund first, regardless. And once you have shown that you're very strongly committed to building on Stellar and you've proven your establishment within the ecosystem, that is when then I would suggest we can carry forward that conversation on the matching fund side of things and connect you with our venture side. Within the Stellar Foundation itself.
Oh, okay, that's great. Can you also drop the link to that as well? So I can.
There is no link for the Stellar Matching Fund, but there is a link to the Community Fund that I had already dropped.
Yeah.
All right. Also, okay, I think going straight up to the technical.
And also, Cody, since your question was really around, you're someone who's not a technical person in a sense, I would say that our meetups, for example, gives that opportunity as well to pitch an idea. So let's say you have an idea, you have a project you want to build on Stellar, but you don't have that core technical skills. You're able to pitch. Then if it's a project that's viable, there's the opportunity for mini grants. But most importantly, that creates or provides a stage for you, in a sense, to showcase what that idea is. And I'm very sure that at these meetups, you will get to meet developers and technical leads and technical people who would say, you know what, I think your idea makes sense. How about we collaborate together? We form a team, form a formidable force, and then try to apply through the SCF startup camp, go through the boot camp in itself. It's 5 days, learn, ask questions. I needed to repeat that because one thing I found in our boot camps is if you don't ask, you never will get the help that you need. So you go through the boot camp, you maximize that opportunity, and then that also sets you up for success because you can now say, okay, I think we're ready with this idea. I've sorted the technical aspect. I've sorted everything I need to sort, and I think I can apply for SCF grant award. So you see how the pipeline in itself works to support you on that journey. So if you have a project idea, you can pitch it at the meetup that we're hosting in Lagos on July 5th. And then, of course, get opportunity to network with developers that will be at the meetup. And then you guys form a team to join SCF Startup Camp, go through the boot camp, and then potentially apply for SCF funding. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it does. It does. And okay, going back to the technical aspect right now, about the funding, I know that there's like $100,000 worth of XML, for funding.
Excellent. Yes.
Yeah. So like when a project wanna apply for funding, does that project need to be like a completely built project, like, or does it or is it okay to apply with like maybe MVP or something that is just attributes, or does it really need to be like fully functioning DAP?
I have a response to that. I'm sure Anuha as well will have a response to that.
Okay.
So the person who delivered the workshop today at the Stellar Search community, I think his project is called Very About Finance. So I'm plugging him there because they're really doing amazing stuff. I'm using that as an example because I've seen instances where you have an idea, you have a project, you haven't really done like the MVP aspect, but you get to state that in your application that, hey, this is our growth plan or our growth strategy. These are the teams we're planning to work with to get our idea off the ground. And these are the qualifications that we have. It's not yet live on the market, but it's going to get live and we need the support. So there are a mix of projects that I've seen that has applied through SCF that they've either they've launched their project already and they needed some sort of extra funding to support that growth. And I've also seen projects that they've not launched into market yet, but they have like a solid case and they have like a solid story to say, okay, we've been doing this maybe on a low key and we want to actually just get the right resources that will set us up for success. So it's a mix of both, and I'm sure Anoha would have additional comments to this.
Yeah, sorry, Gift, I zoned out there for a second. But what was the exact question here?
Oh yeah, she wanted to find out if one of the success criteria to actually getting an award from SCF is that you should have an existing project that is already live, or if she could apply with an idea or just an MVP.
Okay, so the way to go about this would be, right? So going back to the pipeline, specifically, is that when you are applying to the Stellar Community Fund, you should definitely have a good, strong idea, but also more than just an idea, you should be having a very strong technical architecture document, different components and guidelines fit into the community fund. I strongly advise against companies and builders jumping straight to the community fund, and because oftentimes, yes, you'll get feedback, but you're not like, we have a program called Startup Camp that is set up to really help you flush out your technical architecture document. We have mentors that will sit with you over 5 days and really make sure that your idea is the proper fit and in the right proof of concept for applying to the community fund. So without a good like architecture document or a good budget and deliverables completely mapped out, and a strong idea and a proper, somewhat of a decent MVP style, that be a Figma file or something of that nature, without those components, I would strongly advise against applying to the community fund. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And also, the community fund guidelines are in that link I'd shared. So I would recommend that you look through that. And if you have any other questions, feel free to DM me on Twitter or Telegram, and I'm happy to help you out directly as well.
All right. I just followed you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, are you going to any of the meetups?
Oh no, I don't actually. I've not made up my mind yet, but I think I will.
Oh,
Cozy, why haven't you made up your mind yet? I'm
you should
wondering what's holding you back.
you should make up your mind to go to the one in Nairobi. Actually, the reason I
Oh
say
wow,
that is
yeah.
because Anka, will who's from the foundation, will also be at the meetup. Who I'm sure you could discuss your idea with and have a strong conversation with at the meetup. So come on out to the Nairobi one if you're not sure which one to go to.
No problem, no problem. I will. Thank you
But
so
yeah,
much.
and for anyone out over in this call right now, definitely come on out to the meetups, guys. It would be awesome to meet many of you in person and kind of just have a conversation. I mean, it's really a time for you to bounce ideas, meet like-minded people, but also a good time for us to connect with you as well. So
Yeah.
Uh, okay, I have a question. Sorry.
I
One more
do
question.
have to hop here right now. But if
Oh,
you
Don't
guys have
worry.
any other questions in this conversation, I would love to continue this conversation in either the Stellar Dev Discord, which is where I would highly recommend we take this conversation, or over to Twitter or Telegram as well. And my Telegram is the same as my Twitter ID.
All right.
All
Perfect.
right. Anything
Okay,
else, Gift? Final words here before anything you want me to touch up on before I exit?
No, Anuha, thank you so much for your
Of course,
time.
guys. It's
Really
always
do
great chatting
appreciate
with
that.
you. I can't wait to
Yeah,
see all the amazing builders that we're going to have in our ecosystem from Stellar Search,
yeah,
and specifically
yeah.
more African female devs. Please come on over, come build. So we need more
Yeah.
builders like you all, please. So looking forward
yeah.
to
Mhm.
welcoming you all into our community. I'll talk to you all soon. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, so are there any more questions?
Okay, I
It's just two more questions. One is if the program has like a stipulated date, like a start date and an end date, or if it's like a continued opportunity. That's one. Then
Mm.
the last question is you spoke about an event for July. If you could
Mhm.
elaborate on that. I think those are the last two questions.
Yeah, sure. So the Stellar Search program, I should add, is being supported by the Stellar Development Foundation. So we're working as partners for the Stellar Search program. And this is like the first grant that we've gotten from the foundation to deliver on the program. And our hope and our strategy in building the community is to actually have it as a continuous program. So we don't have the strategy to just have it as a one-off, but to have it as a continuous program where we can, get more developers across Africa, from North Africa, South Africa, and getting them to learning more about the Stellar network. So the strategy is to grow and evolve the community. I'm sure you guys are already aware on how it takes a while, a good while, to build a community that is loyal, to a particular network. So we are in for this for a long time, and we're hoping that the community evolves as the strategy and growth evolves over time as well. And then for the question around the event, so the Stellar Search meetups are happening in Accra, Nairobi, and Lagos. Accra is happening June 29th. Nairobi is happening July 2nd, and Lagos is happening July 5th. And I'm sure that they asked specifically around the Lagos meetup, so I'm going to speak on that. So the Lagos meetup will be happening at Zone Tech Park, right at Bagada on the mainland, and we'll be having founder stories as one of the highlights for the event. So founder stories are opportunities for founders that have built on the network to share their stories and also demo what projects or what application that they've built. And then we also have a mini roundtable conversation where we really want to, talk about the power of the blockchain networks, of Stellar's blockchain network, and how developers can maximize the network. So inter them to the roundtable conversation, we'll also be having a special presentation on Stellar. We would also be having a pitch-a-thon, which is really exciting. It's a competition where members from the Stellar Search community can pitch their projects, pitch their ideas. And of course, there will be free matches to be won. So feel free to block your calendars. Don't be like Cozy that is unsure if she wants to come or not. I'm sure she'll definitely come. I'm just playing on her there. But yeah, block your calendars to attend the one in Lagos if you're based in Lagos. And if you're in Nairobi, you can come at Workstyle Africa First Avenue in Parklands. That's where we're hosting the meetup in Nairobi, and that is happening July 2nd. And then, of course, the one in Accra will actually be working closely with student developers, and I'm excited because one thing I've also noticed is bringing the network to engineers and developers in universities and getting them to know about the network and what the network can do. So we'll be having like a practical workshop in Accra with student developers where they get to write their first smart contract code, and of course pitch their challenge. So whatever challenge that they think can be built on the Sorobon network. So it's going to be a packed couple of weeks. I say a couple of weeks because I mean we're working